I'd like to step back and consolidate or compile the variety of skills and techniques that we're learning here into some kind of a hands-on project so you can actually see how this would function in the real world. So what I want to do is I want to create sort of like a warning message or like an alert message that we would see on screen. Now, before we really dig into it, a couple of changes that I want to make here. First of all, you'll notice that my background graphic is gone. I went and toasted them. If I flip back over to my CSS here, I just removed them out of the body, the redefined body element. I took all those background properties out, actually. So I'm just all the way back to the regular old background color. And you know, the other thing that I want to do is I actually want to toast my sidebar. We're done with the sidebar for now, so go ahead and get rid of that guy, just so he's not sort of obstructing what we want to do here on screen. So just give me a second. I'll collapse out all of that space. Okay. If you want to do a quick refresh, there we go. So we're all the way kind of back to where we started. Okay, now onto this warning message or this alert message. Once again, I have to kind of ask myself, okay, do I want to use this once on screen? Do I want the flexibility and the ability to reuse this guy multiple times on screen? How do I want to do this? Well, the way that I've decided to do this is I'm going to set mine up as a class selector so that I will have the option to use him more than once on screen. So I'm going to call my guy .alert. And of course, preceding alert with a period there, designating him as a class selector. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to break this down onto a few lines. And what I'll do is I'll specify each of these properties on a separate line just to make it easy for you to follow along. The first thing that I want to do is I want to go and specify a background. And of course, I want to make use of some shorthand CSS here as well. So throw in background :space, and then here's my hexadecimal value that I want to use, FFFF. 6BF. There we go. And then the next thing that I want to do is I want to specify a background graphic. Now, this background graphic, kind of a cool technique. We want like a warning icon of some sort, and we actually have one in our project files folder called exclamation.png. We're going to load him in, but we're going to load him in as a background graphic. So I'm going to go URL, and then in brackets, I'm going to go exclamation.png. Watch your spelling there. I want to center this guy as well, so I'm just going to type in center, and then I don't want him to repeat. I don't want that tiling effect, so I'm just going to go no repeat. All right, go ahead and hit enter there. The other thing that I want to do is I want to control the positioning of this background alert icon. So I'm going to go background-position. There we go, :space. And something that I neglected to mention in the previous exercise is your background position values. You can use pixels, you can use centimeters, you can use percentage, all kinds of different units of measurement. So what I'm doing here is I'm going 15 pixels and then followed by a 50% value, and then throw in my semicolon there. How about some pretty straight up standard text formatting? I'm going to go text align left. We've seen that a number of times. I'm going to throw a border onto this guy, but I'm going to throw a border onto the top and onto the bottom. So I'm going to go border top, 2 pixels, solid, and let's see, the color that I'm going to use is FFD324. And I'm basically going to use the exact same settings for the border bottom. So I'm going to speed things up simply by selecting all of this and copying it, and then pasting it and changing border top to border bottom. Okay, now I'm sure there's going to be some additional properties that I want to throw in here, but I want to get a sense of what this guy would actually look like on screen. And I'll oftentimes do this. I'll build my rule to a certain point, go and check it out inside the browser or maybe a few browsers, and then come back and tweak and adjust and fiddle a little bit. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to go and apply my alert class somewhere inside my document. So scroll down into my actual document here, and I'm going to go after the paragraph underneath Charlottetown. I'm simply going to apply the class to the actual paragraph itself just by throwing in the class attribute, and mine's called alert. There we go. Perfect. Let's go and check this out inside the browser. Save and refresh. Okay, there's my alert message coming through. It looks okay. I have the border happening there, which is all right. There's my exclamation icon, that warning icon coming through, which is great. And you can very subtly see the background color change. So we're getting there, but let's go and change a few more things. Let's see. I'm going to flip back over into my code, and I'm going to go and find my alert class rule. And I think what I want to do is I want to throw some padding onto this guy. Let's try a padding value of, I'm going to try 50 pixels. I'm not sure if that's going to work or not. And then refresh. There we go. Something like that. That looks pretty good. And the other thing I want to do is I want to push him in from the left-hand side and also the right-hand side on my screen. So that's going to be margin. So I'm going to go margin hyphen left. And again, I'm not really sure what values I want to use. I'm going to try 100 pixels. And I'm also going to go margin right. Of course, I could use some shorthand to do this as well, but there we go. Let's give that a try. Save and then refresh. There we go. Something like that. That looks pretty cool. Now, I'm not completely sold on the padding, especially the padding above and below. So if you want, you can come back and you can fiddle around a little bit with your padding. Maybe we could wind up doing something like 25 for the top and bottom and 50 for the left and the right, something like that. There we go. Also, that text indent is kind of bugging me, so I could go text indent and then 0, something like that. You saw this earlier. Refresh. There we go. That's kind of a neat example of, once again, combining together a lot of the skills and techniques that we're seeing along the way here. We got a border in here. We have some padding. We have some margin. We have a background graphic, which is placed there way over on the left-hand side, centered vertically, by the way, as well, which is pretty darn cool. And a few other properties in there as well. So hopefully this has been a lot of fun for you.